Hey everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. And y'all, I'm gonna leave the screen black. No pictures this time, no title, no nothing. Let me tell you why. Y'all, I'm about to have a heart attack trying to watch this Ahmaud Arbery case. Even though I said that I wasn't gonna watch it, when they said that one of those murderers were gonna testify, get on the stand, I said, well, you know what? Let me turn to it. So let me tell you where I am in my head. I've been watching that Rittenhouse trial because that judge is off his freaking rocker. Y'all, the when he allowed him to do the Powerball choosing of the jurors that were going to be thrown off the case, who weren't going to be part of the 12, I was like, what the hell is going on here? Is this normal? Now, I know in Ohio we don't have nothing like that. Now, I guess it's a common thing maybe there in Wisconsin, but we ain't never heard about it here. And the stuff is weird to me. When I look at social media when comes to Kyle Rittenhouse, there is every excuse for why he was there in Wisconsin with that rifle. Every excuse. So I was talking to my son last night, and we were talking about both cases. So what me and my son came up with is this. We said, okay, he claims that he went there to Wisconsin to, offer medical attention. So my thing is, who was he offering it to? To the police, to the paramedics, to the firemen? Because let's face it, that was a Black Lives Matter protest. So, they believe that everybody that goes is either a rioter, a looter, or an arsonist. So, if you weren't offering medical attention to the police, the paramedics, and the firemen, then who were you there for? The people that were the rioters, the looters, and the arsonists? You expect us to believe that you left Illinois, drove to Wisconsin to offer medical assistance to those people? Now, the other reason why he was there is that he said that, to prevent, the I guess the looting and the fires and all of that. It doesn't make sense. That was not your stuff. You do not have the right to be, driving somewhere to protect somebody else's shit. That's like me here living in Ohio, where y'all live in whatever state that y'all in. But I'm going to jump in my car with a rifle and I'm going to drive to that state and protect your shit. That don't even make sense. If I showed up at your door and knocked and said, I'm here to protect your shit, you would be looking at me like I'm crazy and probably trying to call the police on me. That don't make sense. Then me and my son talked about like what he was doing when he was a 17-year-old young man. My son is 34 now. My son said, Mom, before you even get started, he was like, if you even thought that I have had a weapon, any type of weapon, he was like, BB gun, water gun. He had me laughing. He was like, I would still be getting argued at 17 years later when I'm 34. And I was like, yeah, you're right. He said, you did not even allow that. He said, and then the thought that I had it and that I was taking that, you know, on a ride to another state with me and my friends, you would have hit the ceiling. My son talked about that when he was 17. He was like, Ma, I was at the house. He was like, you know your curfew and how you used to lock folk out. So he said I was trying to get in before I was sleeping in the backyard. Basically, my son was like, He would have been at home doing his homework, playing his game, you know, in the basement with his friends or in the backyard with his friends because y'all, I believe it was a school night. You know, that was a school night. The average 17-year-old to show you that that there was not any type of parental stuff going on in his house. What mother allows their child on a school night to get a weapon and travel to another state? You know, I heard that he said that his father lived there, but she knew that he was leaving with a weapon. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I remember one of my son's friends unbeknownst to me, had loaned his what you call BB gun to my son. And I remember that one time my son had cut the grass, and the way that our house sat on the land that our house was on was there was a whole bunch of front yard and a whole bunch of backyard. Pretty much our house sat in the middle of the land. We had all this grass on the side and a wide long driveway. So I remember looking out the window, making sure that my son was cutting the grass in the pattern that I wanted it. And then he cut the front, he cut the back, and then I saw him put the lawnmower up. But then I noticed him leave from putting the lawnmower up and go towards the side of the house where his bedroom was. We lived in a ranch home, everything on one floor. So I go into his bedroom and peek through the blinds to see what he's out there doing on the side of the house. Y'all, when I looked out the window, it was a BB gun. Now, to me, it looked like a rifle. I almost ran through the stucco that was on the side of the house. I had to remind myself, fool, first you got to run out this boy's bedroom, through the kitchen, out the side door, then around the house. You cannot run through the brick. I ran out there so fast, I caught him while he was, just picking it up and was about to walk, I guess, into the backyard to hide it from me. And I was like, what the heck? Y'all, I went off. Right there in the backyard, I made him explain to me what this was, where did he get it, because I didn't buy it. He told me that his friend had loaned it to him, and I made him go in the house. We called the friend's parents, and I said, look, come and get it. You know, I don't know what's going on here, but it don't need to be here. Especially y'all, and get this, because his friend was white and he was black. I was like, no, come get your son shit because I don't want my son with it. Because the next thing I know, if something happened, it's gonna be pinned on him. I basically want to tell my child, wipe your fingerprints off of it when you hand it back to him. Y'all, so all this stuff with the defense of a 17-year-old killing folk, I don't get with it. Because at the end of the day, the bottom line is this: remove Kyle from the situation. Would those two young men still be alive? They would be because he wouldn't have been there. Okay? Now let me get to the Ahmaud Arbery case, and then y'all, I'm gonna get out of here because I cannot. I cannot. We just set up and talked about a 17-year-old running around with, an AR-15. Here's Ahmaud running down the street, jogging, y'all. Now they said that he had been in and out of this construction site where these people's homes were several times. But from what I remember, the homeowner said directly Ahmad walked in empty handed and he walked out empty handed. Now, from what I'm understanding, and I hope I'm getting this right, because again, I have been doing the highlights of the Ahmaud Arbery trial. I can't sit through it, y'all. It hit too close to home. But from what I'm understanding, the whole reason why the homeowner put those cameras on his construction site is because he said that the kids that lived across the street from his house were in and out of that, construction site, and he was worried about their safety and I guess his liability. He also said that during the course of viewing the tape from the construction site, he realized that several people had been in and out of his house, during the time that it was under construction. They talked about a white couple who was in there with bags. He said if he had any worries about anybody stealing anything, it wouldn't have been Ahmad because, again, he walked in empty handed and he walked out empty handed. He said he would have been more worried about the people with the bag because they could have carried shit out. Okay, then you get to, because y'all, I couldn't watch that man sit on the stand and lie about what occurred on that day, and Ahmad doesn't get to tell his side of the story. You you got this young man, 25 years old, I believe Ahmad was, jogging down the street. If you would have minded, if those three men would have minded their business, whatever he did, call the police or whatever you thought he did, call the police on it. Why was it your prerogative to follow him, corner him, and then, provoke him to the point where he felt once he saw that rifle that he needed to protect himself? You cannot be the hunter, and then when the huntee turns around to protect himself, then you are now the victim. That's like one of us hunting a deer, okay? We're chasing a deer with a rifle. The deer gets cornered, and then the deer says, okay, I'm probably going to die, but I'm going to fuck him up before he take me out. And he proceeds to rear up on his back legs and kick the shit out of you. Is the deer wrong for protecting himself when eventually he is dead? See, their argument does not even make sense. And it makes me ill, y'all. Literally, when I'm watching the few minutes of the Ahmad Arbery case that I can get through, my chest is hurting. Because as I told y'all in another video, this hits too close to home. Because the very young man that I was speaking to last night, my son, something like this happened when we first moved to the city that we live in. Something similar to this happened to my son. He worked at and I think I told the story in the other video. He worked at a pizza restaurant that was right on the corner of our street. The only reason why I did not pick him up from work, um, he got off at 10 o'clock at night. And the only reason why I didn't pick him up from work is because we had a curvy street. And his job literally was probably 10 houses or less from us. The way you came down our street is you started down the street, then you hit this curve, and pretty much we were the second or third house after the curve. So he walked past 7 houses, hit that curve, and then 2 to 3 houses away was us. What happened is, I guess when he started away from the pizza place, there must have been some police officers somewhere, and they followed him all the way to the driveway. Y'all, when I realized what was going on, I was sitting there thinking, oh my God, what if they, when he started up the drive, they thought he was, trying to kill somebody or break into something, and they would have shot him. Luckily, like I said in the other video, I kind of, when your child is a teenager working, you know when they get home about the time they about to walk in. So what I normally would do is, because he was a young man and he got off at 10, I knew He could run down the street or get down the street walking probably in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And if he ran, he probably would be down the street in 5 minutes. That's just how close we were to his job. And the main reason why I let him work there. He went there to eat one time, saw that they were hiring, you know, you know, asked them, would you hire me? Ran home all excited, Mom, I got a job. So I was like, oh, okay, well, all righty. He didn't ask it, he did it. When he came and told me, he already had it. So of course I'm gonna let him work. That's why I did. But that night, once he came in, took his little shower, got something to eat, and was in his room doing his homework, I thought about him telling me, Mom, when they were following me, I was scared. They kept on asking me where I'm going. He said all he kept saying is home. I said, Scott, you didn't tell him that you lived on the street. He said, I just kept saying, I'm going home. I'm going home. He said when he got to the end of the driveway, he stopped, let them know that, my mom leaves the light on the side of the house for me. I'm going home. If you want to sit here and watch me put my key in the door, basically, I guess, to show that I'm not breaking in, you can do that. And I asked him what happened. He said basically they sit there and watch him use the key and come on in, you know? So things like what happened to Ahmad, he's too close home for us, you know? And I know, y'all got a story to tell. Y'all got a brother, an uncle, a father, cousin, somebody that has had one of these eerie, you know, interactions with police or with some white folk that y'all say, but for the grace of God, he wasn't killed, you know. And my son has had other scary things that he didn't even tell me about when it happened. He told me years after it happened. And as a parent, the first thing you say is, boy, why you didn't tell me? You know, that had happened to you. You could have been killed and blah blah blah. And he was like, I didn't tell you because I survived and it was over, and you would have been worried. And he also knew that I wouldn't let him go anyplace else. If he told me that, I would have been driving him everywhere. He probably been 21, and I would have been still trying to drive him everywhere he needed to go. But y'all, that's all I wanted to say. Just the few minutes that I caught that Ahmad Aubrey case today, I just was sitting there like, I cannot even believe this. The funny thing is, y'all, and it's not even funny. The sad thing is, even though I think Kyle Rittenhouse is guilty as sin because of that judge and the way that the country is, and like I said, these people are giving him every excuse for not only being there, but for shooting those two young men. I think he's gonna get off. I really think he's gonna get off. Now, in the Ahmaud Arbery case, surprisingly, I think those guys are going to be convicted. Only reason why I say that is because, again, I read the comments under, videos that I'm watching, and even when I'm on the major news sites and the people are commenting under it, I'm going to say this. Even white people are saying, had they left that young man alone, none of this would have happened. Even white people are saying, mind your business. If you believe that he has stolen something, call the police. It wasn't your job to track him like an animal, corner him when he tries to fight back, then you kill him and say, now you're the victim. Even they are saying, you know, some shit is so blatant that, you know, is you can't even say, well, they're justified. Now you do have those that say, oh, they were trying to protect themselves from him. Again, that an angry black man, crazy black man stuff. But I was just really surprised at just how many people want these three guys They actually want the death penalty, which I actually do too, but we'll be happy to get life in prison, you know. But that's all I gotta say, y'all. I just wanted to say sorry about the black screen. I didn't feel like it today. I just literally after I turned off that not Rittenhouse, Ahmaud Arbery case, I just had to sit here for a minute and literally catch my freaking breath because I don't know what it is, y'all, but I don't know if it's just being a parent that has raised a young man to adulthood. Whenever I see one of these cases, y'all, for lack of better words, it fucks me up. My chest was beating, my heart was beating so hard in my chest as I tried to sit there and watch it. I actually felt like I had indigestion. I think that as a black person, I might have a little bit of PTSD with all of these murders and stuff. It's starting to really bother me. I'm so scared for my son. I'm glad he is a homebody and he doesn't run the street the only time. He said, Mom, I'm at the age where I go to work, I go do my little errands, and he said I come home. He's 34 now. You know, he was like, I don't really hang out, you know. So I'm glad for that. And hopefully, even the times that he has to be out there, I hope he doesn't encounter the police. Our little family motto is limit any interactions with them. Like my daughter even went to this thing that they had here in the city for young black people, and it was to fix tail lights. These mechanics, I guess black mechanics, I guess walked around your car and looked at stuff that police will look at and say, you know what, we'll fix it either free or little or nothing, just so they wouldn't be pulled over for, like a light out in the back or, the tag around their license plates obscures a bit of the license, just anything. My daughter went and got all of the lights replaced on her car so she wouldn't be driving and maybe her tail light go out. It's sad that our kids have to go through that. But they don't think we care about ours. It's just sad. I don't want to say too much more, y'all, but y'all know where I'm going. As always, thank you for watching the video. Please stay safe out there. And happy holidays, because come next week it's Thanksgiving. I'm preparing and I can't wait to see, what this holiday season brings. Y'all take care now. Bye bye.